In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make my Fruity Delight fruit cake. I developed this recipe specifically for fruit cake lovers. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Oluwabukola Ajayi, and if you've not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Like, hello, when you subscribe to the channel, it enhances my confidence to want to create and drop more amazing free recipes. So please do click the subscribe button, the thumbs up button, which helps to give the video more visibility. Drop a comment and don't forget to share this video with your family, friends, and loved ones. Do you love fruitcakes, or do you love baking fruitcake for your customers? If you're a professional baker, this is the video for you. So keep it locked and let's get right into business. Fruitcake is one of those cakes that is very easy to make if you just understand what it is you need to do. And one thing I will advise you do is that if you've not watched a video I have on this channel that says everything you need to know about fruitcakes, please go out, watch that video. Is right here on the channel. Just scroll down, you'll definitely see it. Watch the video, then watch the video before this video and come back to this video. That way you understand everything it is I have here on my table. So on my table, I have my all-purpose flour, I have brown sugar mixed with white sugar, I have pre-mixed and soaked in whiskey mixed fruits and everything. Like I said, watch the video before this video. That's where you understand what it is I have in this bowl. And I have mixed fruits here, also pre-soaked mixed fruits. Very important that you check that out. I have margarine here, my eggs. I have rum here, the rum I use in soaking my fruits. I have dark treacle here, my allspices. This recipe is in the video before this video. Go back and watch that video, and also watch the video on everything you need to know about fruitcake. Very, very important. I can't overemphasize that. And I have in here baking soda and baking powder. I usually don't put rising agents in my fruitcake, but for this recipe, I am definitely doing that. And I also have lemon, fresh lemon for this recipe. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to mix all our dry ingredients together. Into my bowl goes my all-purpose flour, my allspices, baking soda and baking powder. You can use just the baking powder, but don't use the baking soda without the baking powder. And we'll definitely mix this together. Into this mixture, I'm going to be grating the zest of my lemon. And please be careful while you grate your lemon so you don't get the bitter parts inside your cake. But you want the zest of the lemon in there, trust me. Yes, about 1 teaspoon lemon zest and you're fine. And you whisk that all together. The aroma of the lemon zest, the allspices, everything just works together. It smells beautiful. It smells yummy in here. Like, you need to be in the studio right now. We need to understand how good this smells. So we'll set these aside and we'll begin to cream the margarine or butter, whichever it is you want to use. That's fine. It could be butter, it could be margarine. This is my margarine. So now I've softened my margarine or butter. Please do this. Don't be in a rush. You're not rushing anywhere when you're baking. Is a labor of love. But this recipe, you know, with all my recipes, they're always very super easy to do. And now in goes my sugar. Like I said, I make this a combination of white sugar and brown sugar. You can use just the brown sugar. And you can also use just the white sugar, especially when you know that you have dark treacle. And if you don't have dark treacle and you have access to brownie, but high quality brownie or molasses, you can replace that with the dark treacle so that you can get that dark color. The reason why we want to use the brown sugar is number one, for the cake to be soft, because what molasses does is that it makes your cake soft. We want the cake to be soft, and we want the cake to also have a very dark exterior. Always scrape down the size of your mixing bowl to get that perfect bake. The perfect bake starts from the recipe, following the recipe back to back, taking your time, then into your oven. That is how you get a perfect bake. You don't just think because you have a good recipe, you can just pour everything in there and just keep mixing without scraping down the size of your bowl. So this is the consistency you want your margarine or butter and sugar before you begin to add other ingredients. And the next ingredients I'm going to be adding to this are eggs. So please, the eggs, you're going to add it one at a time. Don't be in a rush. Add it one at a time. Let it incorporate properly. Add another and just follow the process. So for this recipe, obviously we are using 4 eggs. The one thing I'm going to be doing differently in this video is I'm going to be blending this 1 cup of mixed fruit, not this I'm using. So when I pre-soaked my fruit, what I did was that I removed some of the mixed fruit. I ensured I avoided the red cherries, the green cherries, the yellow cherries, my almonds and all. I just find this. I want to blend it and add it into this batter. It makes all the difference in your fruit cake. It will make every bite fruity. If you do this, your customers will always come back for more. One of my secrets when it comes to making fruit cakes. The rum I will be adding into my batter, which is the rum. I will add it into the blender and use it to blend the black currants, and I'm going to be adding it into the mixing bowl. And as you can see, this automatically enhances the taste, the color, the flavor, even the texture of your fruit cake. It does lots of wonders to your fruit cake. Now I'm going to be adding the dark treacle. Very important, you see. It's quite stretchy, it's sticky. Please, this is not honey. Someone asked me if they can replace this with honey. Please, this is not honey. Honey is different. Honey is definitely going to change the taste of your fruit cake to something else. If you want the honey taste in your fruit cake, go right ahead to do that. But please, this is not honey, and don't alter this recipe if you want to get the same exact results I get with this recipe. Simply going to highball my lemon, the same lemon I used the zest. I'm going to be using the juice of this lemon. And if you want to get the best out of your lemon, pre-soak it in water for a few minutes, rub it on the table so you can get the best out of your lemon. And let me remove the seed to ensure we don't have any seeds in there, and I squeeze out the juice of the lemon. The lemon will enhance the taste of the fruit cake. It will also serve as a preservative. You know, lemon, lime serves as preservatives when it comes to baking, but not every cake requires the presence of lemon. So don't just go right and start baking every flavor of cake and adding lemon to it because Nigeria Baker said no. But for fruit cake, it's a very, very good combo for taste and for preservation. So the very next thing we're going to be doing is I'm going to be adding our flour into the liquid mixture. So this is the dry ingredients, which has the flour, the baking powder, the baking soda, all spice. Now it needs to go in here. And when you begin to introduce the flour, please mix. If you're using a mixer, mix on low speed. Do not mix on high speed, because the moment you do that, you're going to overactivate the gluten in your flour, and your cake will come out too dense. Hard should be the word, because fruit cake is, I want to say, is a dense cake, yes, but we don't want it hard. Turn off the mixer, scrape down the sides of the bowl, and you use the mixer just one last time. And that is it. That is all the mixing you need if you're using a mixer. I always tell people, the moment you introduce your flour into your cake batter, there is nothing to mix. You just gentle, very gentle mixing, so you don't over mix your batter. So now in goes the fruits and everything, and it just begins to combine. And this is what you want your texture of your fruit cake to look like. Can you see? That's a beautiful texture. That is the texture you want to see in your fruit cake. Can you see? It's so fruity. Every bite will definitely have something. So now you add your almond flavor and vanilla, but I'm using just almond for this recipe. And as you can see, I've mixed everything together, and this is what the batter looks like. So my pre-lined bowl, baking pan, sorry, the batter goes. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be doubling this recipe. I will add a little, I will mix another batter and double this recipe because I want this pan to be full. This is a 10 inches baking pan. Leveling, just level, ensure you level it, move it to the side, and level it. You can see that this is very, very fruity. Every part of this cake has fruits. It's so obvious that this is a very rich fruit cake. I will add more butter to this because I want this pan to be filled. Like I said, this is a 10-inch pan. I will add more butter to this, and I will bake this until my skewer inserted into it comes out dry. And don't forget to always double tap. This should bake for at least 1.5 hours at 275 degrees. So after baking our cake in the oven and fully baked, like you guys know, if you are familiar on this platform, I always cover my cakes with a cling film plastic bag immediately it comes out of the oven. And this is what the fruit cake looks like. Like, it looks very, very, very nice and neat. And this is one of the reasons why I always advise that you grease and line your baking pans with parchment paper, because it makes your cakes come out of the pan easily. You want that seamless movement when you remove your cake. This is what the bottom of the cake looks like. Can you see it has cooled down completely for us now? And this is what the top looks like. So one of the things we want to do now is that we want this cake to age like fine wine. You know, when you hear that saying, age like fine wine, that is exactly what we want to achieve with this cake. So I'll get a bamboo skewer, something that has a sharp point like this, and I will poke this cake because we want this cake to age very, very well. We want to add more depth of flavors. We want to increase the shelf life of this cake. And this is what we are going to keep doing. You poke, 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 poke as much as you can without destroying the structure of the cake. Sometimes you find it difficult running the skewer through the cake because of the fruit and everything, but that is equally fine. And now I'm going to be using rum. So I'm going to be pouring rum on this cake. I'm not using whiskey to age. I'm using rum to age this cake. And this is exactly what I will be doing with this cake. I'm pouring rum inside. You can use whiskey, you can use rum, you can use brandy. So I'm not using brandy right now. I'm not using whiskey. I'm using rum. And this is exactly how you want to age your cake. It just adds more depth of flavor and everything. And like I said, if you use what's it called? If you use the non-alcoholic fruit cake method to bake your cake, you can also still age your cake. You can use fruit wine. You can pour fruit wine into your cake at this stage. Fruit wine will also serve the same, almost the same purpose. Definitely, you know the taste will be a little bit different, but fruit wine can also be used, or juice. But when you're using juice, please kindly boil the juice. You can buy packet juice and all, but boil it first. Let it cool down to room temperature, then pour it into your cake. And that is it. That is it for our fruit cake. I'm going to be showing you what the inside looks like when I begin to decorate this beauty. Yay! And this is what the inside of our Fruity Delight fruit cake looks like. Look at all the fruit and yumminess going on. And your fruit cake does not have to be dry. It can be moist. Just follow this recipe. Can you see how that thing is sticking together? That is what a good fruit cake should look like. And this is my cake after trimming this gorgeousness. What do you think about this recipe? I believe you love what you see. It looks beautiful and it tastes even much more better. So don't forget to click the subscribe button, share this page with your friends and loved ones. Everyone who loves to bake needs to be a part of this family. And see you in the next one. Bye.